Hello everybody and welcome to another video with me, Matt Goddard from the Boxing Locker, and today I'm going to be taking you through exactly how you should be using the ring, how to make the most of the space in the ring, and what you need to think about when you're in different positions, okay? This is going to be quite an elaborate video. It's not going to take too long. There's going to be a lot of information packed in, so make sure you stick with it to the very end so you don't miss out on any top tips, okay? So this is a 12-foot ring. It's just a training ring. My gym doesn't have the width for a full-size ring, but the same premises apply. All that is different is that in a full-size ring, you'll have even more space to work with, okay? So primarily, and if you've ever been to a boxing gym, this will have been something you've been taught. Your goal is to maintain the center of the ring as much as possible. So when I'm in my boxing stance, I'm working around in circles. I'm trying not to give too much ground. I don't want to end up backed up, getting pushed up to the ropes. Now, whilst that is good advice, that isn't necessarily the be-all and end-all, okay? There are plenty of successful fighters that have built great careers off the back of using their footwork. Muhammad Ali is one of them. Floyd Mayweather is another. Look at Shakur Stevenson now. He's comfortable anywhere in the ring, and it's really important that you feel the same way. So whilst we do want to try and maintain the center of the ring as much as possible, we don't want to force that at our detriment. So if I'm here and my opponent charges in at me, I don't want to be afraid to take a step back because I'm going to give up the center of the ring. Perhaps rather than take a step back, I can step to the side and use the space, move around them, try and set up a new angle so that I'm not giving up too much ground. Now, with that being said, what else do we need to do? We need to be able to move backwards. So my opponent comes in, I take a step back, I take a step back. Now, I'm noticing now that I'm starting to get near the ropes. Now, this is why we mustn't move in straight lines too often, okay? To use the ring correctly, we need to work in a spiral-esque format. So as I'm moving backwards, I'm always trailing slightly off in one direction, trailing slightly off, pushing my opponent to follow me around, okay? To try and get myself back to that center. Same the other way. So as I'm backing off, I'm just trailing slightly to the side, as you can see, so that it brings me back to that center, and then I can work again. What I don't want to do is go straight back as fast as I can, get myself stuck on the ropes, and then try to move off, okay? We only need to do that when it's absolutely necessary. So the idea is that as I go backwards, I'm just moving slightly laterally, so I don't end up in this dead straight line. I want to take a little step off to this side as I go, bringing myself round so I don't get stuck in that corner, and the same thing to this side, just fading off slightly, occupying the space, right? So never ever go directly backwards towards the ropes, always try and trail off to the side. The second tip when you're moving backwards, making the most out of the ring is, as you're moving off, remember where the nearest rope to you is. So if this is my nearest rope, then that means that the most space is to my right, so I want to move off to my right. If I'm moving this way and this is my nearest rope, I need to think, okay, I don't want to keep going in that direction. I'm going to get myself stuck. I need to then reverse and move back to where I was, okay? Remember, we're trying to avoid the ropes at all costs. We want to be comfortable when we get there, but we want to avoid getting there, right? We want to spend as much time as possible using the center of the ring and the space around the ring as opposed to being pressed up against the ropes. As I said, we want to be confident when we get there, if we get there. We don't want to deliberately put ourselves there if it's unnecessary, right? So as I'm going back, I'm thinking, right, where's the rope? It's here, I need to move into the space. Now where's the rope? It's here, I need to move into the space. So that you're always pushing yourself away from that rope and controlling the ring, okay? Use the space around the ring, make the most of that space and utilize as much of it as possible so that you're in control of distance and time and all of those factors, okay? Now, when we're moving in the ring, what's important when we're on the defense is that we never go back in straight lines. What's important when we're on the attack is different, right? What I need to do is I need to zigzag across the ring to cut off the corners. I don't want to follow my opponent around circling forever, okay? We end up walking around in a circle and at no point am I shutting them down. So, for example, if I'm facing this way and my opponent is in front of me now and they're taking a step backwards, I'm going to step across slightly, that diagonal angle. I know that's going to press them that way. Then I take a big step, I've pushed them back again. They're going to try and come into the space because they don't want to get trapped in the corner. And now I've got them where I need to get them. I can throw my punches, shift round, throw my punches, attack, move across, whap, 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 and then I've got them in the corner, okay? So when you're shutting down an opponent, try not to run headlong forward, first and foremost. We don't want to charge straight in. We want to be informed if our attack is straight on. So we're coming in, we're using the jab, we're seeing how they react, seeing where their feet go. If they back up to the ropes, excellent. We take them there, we work, we get the angles, we move across, we keep attacking angles. If they start fading off to the side, we don't want to follow them round. We want to step across, okay? So lateral movement. As our opponent gets to the rope, I step this way. Now he's going to want to rush out that way. Step across, shut the angle off, whop, come this way, whop, come this way, whop, and continuously try and prevent them from escaping the ropes. We do that, as I said, by zigzagging across the ring. So if we're being aggressive, we're stepping across, shutting down that space. Straight line forward works, but we need to do it behind a good jab, and only works if they are continuing to go straight back, which many people do, which is perfectly fine. However, you will have more success with your punches and open up more angles by cutting off the angles all the time, and you'll find that it's a lot easier to pin your opponent down to throw multiple punches, okay? Now, the second thing is neutrality. Now, when my opponent is far enough away from me that I'm at no risk, I need to relax and take some breaths. So, neutralizing the stance, putting yourself in a neutral stance like this, just squaring yourself off nice and relaxed. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that as long as we stay mobile. So, we have a little bounce, we move off, and then we're back in position as soon as the opponent looks like they're going to get in within range. And then we're back to doing those same rules that we were looking at before. Okay, so use the space when you're in a neutral stance, when you're out of range, have a little relax, move, use the space, get confident, change in direction. You see Floyd Mayweather do this quite a lot, have a little bounce off, whap, whap, and then you bounce off. It works very, very well. The minute you see them in range, tuck back in position, do what you need to do. Final thing we need to go through with regards to this, how to use the ring correctly, is inevitably at some point you're going to end up back to the ropes. Now, whatever your guard is, whether you're a high guard fighter, whether you're a Philly shell fighter, whether you're a cross guard fighter, half guard fighter, low guard fighter, the sooner you get off the ropes, the better, okay? So you have options. We can either move the head and pivot out, move the head, pivot out, move the head, pivot out. We can roll to get off, pivot out. We can roll to get off, pivot out. But one thing rings true at all times: getting behind the opponent as soon as possible. So whenever I manage to get off the ropes, however I do, whether it's the roll, whether it's just the catch, whether it's a clinch up and a wrap, my primary concern is turning myself round, get myself behind the opponent back to that center of the ring. Why? Not just because I want to look like I'm dominating the fight and because I want to be in the center of the ring, but also because what that does is it automatically puts my opponent on the ropes. And now I'm here in front and I can keep working. If I do this, I roll across and I keep stepping, I'm putting myself in the corner. If I take a pivot and then I step back, I'm putting myself in the corner. Granted, you will have more space in a full-size ring before that happens, but nonetheless, don't build those habits, okay? Get back round as quick as you can and then work them. Now, that may not be true in the center of the ring. I might be able to just pivot and then work from there, have a little step back. But when my back is to the ropes, my primary focus is to return to the center of the ring as quick as possible. And now I'm here and then I can work, okay? So, there we have it, guys. Those are my tips for making making the most of the ring space. Definitely don't roast the ring space. The most of the ring space, utilizing the ring to your benefit and ensuring you are making the most of it defensively and offensively so that your footwork is driving your success. As always, thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate you all. Thanks for sticking with me while I've been a bit absent. There's a bit of absenteeism, MIA. But now I'm back at it. I'm back producing content. And hopefully you guys will keep watching and enjoying. Let me know if you have any ideas for other videos in the comments below. Ask any questions you may have on this in the comments below. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Share the content far and wide. I appreciate you all. I hope you have a great day and I'll see you for the next one.